It's Tom and Todd's Face Off on WRKO.com.
It's the dog days of August, and we are barking and biting at everything in sight. You're going to love this version of Face Off on WRKO.com.
Bachmann won the Iowa straw poll, and Palente's poor showing forced him out. Isn't this a silly way to pick a president?
Well, it might seem silly to Tim Pawlenty, but he had a chance, and as silly as it is with the really very small scale of the 17,000 voters in a state that only has 3 million people, but the rules are the same for everybody who approaches it. Hey, get in and do your best. Organize and get your voters to the fair to vote for your guy. If you can't do that, maybe you shouldn't be president.
I would agree it's a pretty silly system. I would just challenge anybody to find a better system. This allows candidates who don't have a ton of money, don't have a ton of institutional support, to go out into a marketplace and on the power of personality and the expression of ideas, be able to sway voters their way. That's a pretty unique opportunity in a country of 300 million people. So somebody who's an outsider, isn't viewed as having much potential, who's mocked by the media like Michelle Bachmann was a couple months ago, all of a sudden she's a player. That's a great thing.
Rick Perry appears to be the GOP's new rock star. Will he ascend to the nomination or crash and burn like Fred Thompson?
Rick Perry, in my opinion, is the front runner right now. He's got what Mitt Romney doesn't have, that's left Mitt Romney hanging in this sort of hovering, benign state that he's in. Well, he's the front runner, but we don't know why he's the front runner. Nobody really likes him and nobody's excited about him. Bang, in comes Rick Perry, charismatic, knows how to communicate conservative ideas, sounds really compelling, looks great, has been running a state for 10 years instead of Mitt Romney, who ran one for about 20 minutes and then left town. He's looking pretty good right now.
I like Todd's analysis up to a point, but here's the thing about Rick Perry, at least as of today. Part of his imagery, his health, is really helped and assisted by the fact of the novelty. Nobody has really taken a close look at him. The scrutiny will begin. Some of it will be unfair. You recognize that in politics. And some of it is going to be on his stewardship of Texas. Supposedly very good on jobs and job creation. That'll be examined. Maybe not so good on state budgets and finances and debts and deficits. How do you then campaign against Obama on an S&P downgrade if your own state's finances are kind of in a mess? So watch for Romney, who won't go quietly into the night. He's got a lot of money and kind of a lot of personal pride invested in this thing. Stay tuned. This is going to be a good fight.
Yeah, it will be a good fight. And watch for Bachmann's support to swing over to Perry and make it very difficult for Mitt.
Obama is heading out on his magical mystery tour. If you worked for the president, would you advise against such a move?
Oh my God, I don't know so much about advising against that move, but I'll tell you what I'm decisively against if I was going to offer and he was going to listen to any advice. Do not go to Martha's Vineyard. Do not go on vacation. Stay in Washington. Call some congressional leaders. At least give the appearance of caring. Martha's Vineyard, riding a bike around with your goofy little helmet, playing golf with your friends, doing all the things that people do in this playland of America, this rich person's playland of America. The optics on this are horrible for millions of Americans who are unemployed, and worse than being unemployed, right now they are palpably frightened. Don't go on vacation, Mr. President.
Well, what I hear is he's actually taking this suggestion very seriously that he shouldn't go to the vineyard, and they're looking at maybe going to Nantucket instead. I don't know if that will provide the boost the president
needs. Oh, the Riviera?
If I were him, well, if I were the White House, I would say we need the president to get a disease and be incapacitated, not be able to go out in public or do any television appearances, critical thing, for a few months, and then we can send Joe Biden out. Joe looks a lot more appealing right now. That's us. See you again next week right here at WRKO.com.